Hey, what's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to episode 10 of Bills with BK. Last week, we came off a huge win against the Cowboys, and I'll be honest, I am feeling very good about the Bills right now. I know that earlier in the season, things were looking a little grim. We all started to have our doubts, me as well, and I'm the most optimistic Bills fan you'll ever meet. But we managed to turn that whole thing around. Now we're at week 16. We're 8-6. The AFC East is still in our grasp. The first thing I want to talk about is James Cook. My God, that boy went off last weekend. 179 rushing yards, 42 receiving yards, one receiving touchdown, another rushing TD. He almost had a second receiving TD on the day, which he dropped, which was his only mistake of the whole day. The biggest thing about James Cook right now that I want to point out is the biggest thing we were missing in our offense in the last few years was a run game. People didn't have to respect the box. They could just worry about our air attack and worry about Josh Allen running, and that was it. They didn't really have to worry about our running backs. Now that we have James Cook playing like this, defenses have to respect us across the board. They got to watch for the run plays. They got to watch for the plays through the air. They got to watch Josh Allen. Our defense is top-notch, playing really good even with all the injuries. Big thing also is that, I don't know if it was last year or the year before last, but one of those years we had the worst yards after catch rate in the league, and I do believe it was last year. So that was one thing that our offense was always missing, was once we would make catches, we wouldn't really get much yards after the catch. But James Cook has turned that all around. He had a bunch of plays last weekend where he would get a bunch of yards after the catch, which is a huge, huge game changer for us. And also I want to give credit to the offensive line, which isn't being talked about enough. I mean, these guys were blocking great last weekend, and that was helping James Cook and be able to have those lanes opened up. The line was looking great, blocking very well. That has been a weakness in our offense in past years, was our offensive line not being that great. So now with them stepping up last weekend, if they can keep that momentum up, I mean, guys, we were looking scary on all fronts. First half, we held the Cowboys to 3 points. Winning at halftime at 3:21, okay? And that's Dallas Cowboys only being able to get 3 points on us in the first half with a super depleted defensive group. Just shows the depth that we have at defense right now, man. Ty Johnson also looking good whenever he came in, making the most out of his opportunities. He had a nice block from Spencer Brown on this play. It was a quiet game for all the receivers, but Diggs was coming through clutch when he needed to, making that highlight reel ridiculous catch in the rain, and then almost the very next play, boom, back to James Cook time for another TD. And how about our defense, which shutting down CeeDee Lamb for most of the day? I mean, Taron Johnson on this play, but Terrell Bernard, Christian Benford, Ed Oliver, Leonard Floyd, Greg Rousseau, Jordan Phillips had a huge game. Unfortunately, we might have lost him for the rest of the regular season. He did just have wrist surgery, so it's a shame because he really had a breakout game last weekend. It's looking like we might get him back if we make the playoffs, knock on wood. But yeah, that's a huge blow to lose him after he just had such a great game. But everyone stepping up on defense. To only allow 10 points on a day with no Micah Hyde or AJ Epinesa against the best offense in the league, we are looking very scary right now, and it is awesome. And I'm going to be honest, guys. This is the best I have seen the Buffalo Bills in my entire life. And no, I'm not talking about the Super Bowls we went to when I was 1 year old. That doesn't count. But in my entire adult life, I have never seen the Buffalo Bills as this complete of a team. James Cook is easily our best running back since Shady McCoy days. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Shady a few times. Super nice guy, very genuine. But the big thing the Bills have been missing these last few years since we lost Shady was a good running back. And James Cook is looking shifty as hell. He's the type of back that can break off for a 35-yard run at any time right now. Couple that with Josh Allen, who can do what he does now without all the pressure on his back, like I've been saying, which creates the perfect balance of Josh Allenism. That's right, that's a new word. Allenism. Where he can do his goal line TD sneaks and pick and choose when to go into beast mode and run for a first down and run through some linebackers. So this is creating the perfect balance for Josh Allen to be Josh Allen without putting the whole team on his back. So now you have teams that have to respect the box. They have to respect our run game. And that's going to open up those big-time Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Shakir plays down the field, or even Big Kincaid plays, which again is why we're the most dangerous now than we've ever been. Because we've had a lot of these tools over the last few years. But you add Kincaid to that, and James Cook, and we have more firepower than ever right now. Then our defense, with all the injuries, playing at a very high level, shutting down teams like the Cowboys, beating the Chiefs. I mean, the whole football world can agree. At this moment, the only teams that can really hang with us are the 49ers and the Ravens. I mean, the whole world knows we should have beat the Eagles. That game was in our hands. We let it slip through our fingers. But I think at that time, we were still putting everything together. Joe Brady had just newly taken over the offense, so I think that we were still putting things together at that time, and that's why we couldn't close that game out with the Eagles. But it seems like now all the puzzle pieces are in place, and now we are looking in complete form. But we got to stay humble, right? One game at a time. This Saturday, we got the Chargers. We got to beat them first. We are looking good, though, because they don't even have Justin Herbert. I'm actually going to be at that game on Saturday. It'll be the second game that I've gone to this year. I also went to the Week 4 Bills-Miami game in Buffalo, which was the best NFL game I've ever seen in my life in person. That was awesome. So let's keep that momentum going. This Saturday, I'll be at that game, watching it live in person. All we really have to do is execute, right? Because there's no reason for us not to beat the Chargers. I mean, we should steamroll over them. But you never know. Any given Sunday, right? Or in this case, any given Saturday. We got to stay focused and we just have to execute. But I have more faith than ever in Joe Brady because you know he's going to let
James cook.
Wow! Yeah, let's fucking go. Let James cook. Let him keep doing his thing. Run the ball as much as we need. Let Josh Allen be Josh Allen when he needs to be Josh Allen. So this is it, guys. All we got to do is execute. We control our destiny. We got to beat the Chargers this Saturday. Then we got to beat the Patriots after that. And with any luck, we'll be going in that last game of the season with the AFC East on the line. All we need is for the Dolphins to lose at least one of their next two games, whether that be the Ravens or the Cowboys. Chances are they're going to lose at least one of those games, if not both of them. And then if that happens, we just have to win out going into that last week against Miami in Florida. Hopefully that game will be for the AFC East. But again, one game at a time. Let's stay humble, stay hungry, keep doing our thing. That's all I got for you guys this week. I'll see you next week. Go Bills.